Hey sports fans, welcome back to the Fool Show. Of course, I'm Foolish Phil. It is July 31, Major League Baseball trade deadline, and you know what? The Tigers actually did something of note. Yay! Al Avila finally did something worthwhile. Yay! I don't know. I find him to be completely inept and worthless as a GM, but that's who is the Tigers GM right now. So let's talk about the deals. I find the obvious one, we had to trade Shane Greene. Just had to get rid of him. I mean, he's having a great year. Last year, I think he had 27 saves. Already he's got 22 saves on this terrible Tiger team. So we had to trade him, and he goes to Atlanta. We got a pitching prospect and an infielding prospect. I don't know if they're any good. You never know if they're any good because, you know what? It's baseball. Unless they're like 5-star studs like, Ken Griffey Jr. or Bryce Harper or something like that. You don't know if they're really going to be good or not, right? These are just prospects. You see what happens. I'm hopeful that Shane Greene can go to Atlanta and provide some good bullpen depth for them. He had a great year. All these guys that have been on the Tigers and they get traded, I always root for them. Because, they're Tigers. Tigers are my baseball team. I always root for the Tigers, even when they're terrible like this year. Speaking of how terrible they are, just a side note, today it's the top of the ninth, so we'll see if I jinx it. But they're up 9-1 over Anaheim. And if they win this game, it will be their first series win since May 27 through 29 versus Baltimore. I mean, so, they haven't won a series in like 2 months. So good, that's how terrible they've been. So, the second trade, Nicholas Castellanos, if he wants to be Nick or Nicholas, whatever. He's moving on, and he's going to the Chicago Cubs. And I guess I can understand the perspective of the Cubs. They're one game behind St. Louis, and they're trying to win the division and get a wild card, whatever, right? They're in the race, too. But I don't see where Castellanos goes in to play. He's done his best work when he's been the DH on the Tigers. The National League has no DH. He is a defensive liability wherever you play him. You're going to play him in the outfield? He has no arm. You're going to play him at third base? He has no range. You got him for the bat, Chicago. That's what you got him for. You got him for the bat. But, man, he is a defensive liability everywhere he goes. And he can't be hidden on a National League roster unless he's just going to play pitch hitting. The main reason the Cubs got him, though, is the Cubs do pretty poorly against left-handed pitching. This year, Castellanos is hitting, I think, 347 against left-handed hitting with power. Sorry, left-handed pitching with power. So that was obvious why the Cubs went and got him. Again, he goes to Chicago. Detroit gets 2 pitching prospects in return. And that's what this team is going to be. The Chicago Cubs are moving on. They're trying to get better. Detroit, we had our heyday in, the decade of like 2008 through 2015-ish, something like that. It's burning to the ground. It's too bad we couldn't trade Miggy, but who's going to take his $30 million contract? Hey, little fun note, Jordan Zimmerman, on, I think Monday it was, he won his first game in 18 starts. Woohoo! 18 starts without a win for Jordan Zimmerman. And the Tigers beat a winning record team. It was like unbelievable. Then they lost. But it looks like they're going to win the series today. So those are the moves the Tigers made. What do you think about the moves? I mean, you're just getting prospects back in return. I don't know. I just looked at them on ESPN real quick. I don't know if they're single A, double A, triple A prospects, whatever. They're just names. I don't know, right? Just prospects. What do you think about the trades? Do you like them? Do you think they were a mistake? Do you think we should have held on to Shane Greene and Castellanos for, maybe later, maybe get them in the off season? Could have traded them then. Maybe Castellanos was a free agent. I didn't know. I didn't look that up. What do you think about the trades? Appreciate your thoughts. Always appreciate my subscribers, and thanks for the new subscribers. I think I'm in the 250 range now. That's just crazy, just talking sports. Hey, it is a lot of fun. Remember, sports is all about fun, and even when your team's terrible, like the Detroit Tigers, you can still find some joy in their horrible defense, terrible hitting, and inept pitching. But you know what? It's still my team, and I'm still going for them. Hey, thanks for watching. As always, I'll talk to you next time there's a big story. Go Blue!